What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Speaking Llama. This is Caleb, joined for a very special episode today with the one and only Simon, from two-time Australian Survivor player, and also Alex too. He's here as well to talk about the upcoming season of Australian Survivor. Simon, how are you doing today?
What's going on? I think my your co-host still takes rank priority over me. But look, it's awesome to be here. You guys have been huge supporters of me and my journey. So when you gave me the call up to come along and join you, I was always going to say yes. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, you are our first official Survivor interview, and so it was only natural for us to reach out and have you come on and talk about the upcoming season. Lots of new things happening in your life as well. Anything else you want to share with the listeners?
Yeah, man, it's been a wild ride. Like the last oh God, what our season filmed 18 months ago, and then we aired 12 months ago and stuff, and then like since then, I had a lot to look forward to with the birth of my daughter. So that happened in October, and yeah, it's nice to have something like post Survivor to look forward to, and family life and dad life has just been awesome. We are still like up to our necks in the trenches, going through it. Bonnie has just turned 12 weeks. And yeah, I thought survival was a challenge, but yeah, parenthood, I mean, that's something else, hey?
Would you say that your sleep deprivation on the island has helped prepare you for any sleep
Yeah,
deprivation now?
look, yeah, the deprivation is definitely like a real thing. I'm just lucky I've always been a good at operating on very little sleep. So
Yeah.
that definitely helped me out on the island. But it hurts more. It hurts more like when you've got to be like responsible for someone else. Like as soon as you hear, the baby like crying or she's dropped a dummy or something like that, it's like you just up straight away. And you not like you can't just, I don't know, like half switch off, like put yourself back to sleep kind of thing. When you're responsible for someone else, yeah, it's a different kind of like, wake up. So you're always kind of sleeping with one eye open. But yeah, I'm getting there.
Absolutely. Well, I can only imagine. I don't have any children of my own, but congrats to you both, and it's been really exciting to see you share y'all's journey on Instagram and things like that. And so, really happy for you, and happy to have you on the podcast to talk about this upcoming season, Titans versus Rebels. Right, you mentioned 18 months ago is when you guys wrapped up filming about a half a year ago, or however long it's been since the last episode aired. But uh, how are you feeling about being on the back on the viewer side of the screen for us right not
Yeah.
on? Are you excited for the season? What are your thoughts as we approach the premiere?
It's kind of like it's actually really nice for us because being a two-time player, I've had that second bite at the cherry. I probably had a little bit of FOMO when I was watching season seven, um, and knowing that that hopefully there might be a chance to go play again, but like I've done it now, like I've had that, and so Beck actually asked me before we're watching TV, and one of the trailers came on, and like I'm so excited for it, but and she's like, she said, do you miss it or do you have any FOMO? And I said like, like out of 100%, like I have 2% FOMO for being out there kind of thing. Like it's not, I don't need to scratch that itch right now, and I'm actually so excited just to watch it back and not be just enjoy it for what it is and not be stressed by it because it was such a stressful experience. I think that my journey, my roller coaster, and the edit, like I was involved, it was in there and stuff. Like it was huge for us. So I'm just looking forward to being able to sit back and just watch someone else fumble their way through it, and just be able to sit back and like have an opinion and you know just enjoy it from this side of the screen because yeah, it's just something else when you're living it. And yeah, you got a little bit more like mental capacity
Yeah.
when it's on to yeah, just sit back and enjoy it. So yeah, I'm stoked for this season. I'm stoked to see a brand new cast. I think that's awesome. it's cool to see them back in Samoa again, and it looks like there are a couple of the beaches and the challenge,
Mhm.
pardon me, the challenge areas are all the same and stuff. So it's like it's cool to see that, but like I don't miss that at all. I don't have a craving to be out there. And like, you know what, if that comes down the track, like again, I mean, great. But like right now it's like, let's just pump the brakes. So yeah, I'm pumped as.
Yeah.
So good. So good. Well, I'm curious too, as a former player, how does it change your viewing experience watching a new season of Survivor? I know some former players, they're like, hey, I don't want to watch any more seasons. I'm done with it. But for you, how does it change seeing the season on TV?
Yeah, I love watching it and like leaning into it and stuff. Like it's really cool. And I'm going to do everything I can to remain completely spoiler free. It's cool watching it back, like being able to like relate to things. And I guess you can kind of see bits and pieces that you're like, oh, that's probably not the way that it happened, or being like, oh, there's got to be more to it. When you're out there, you just know how long those conversations and those plans have either been in the works for and stuff like that, and how long they take to come to fruition, and versus like how the storylines pulled together for the edit. And I think as we kind of seen, in recent times, like the difference between US Survivor and Australian Survivor is like Australian Survivor is still produced for the masses here. We have three main networks, and Channel 10 is it's the third tier network at the moment in terms of like how the ratings sit, but it's like their tier one program that goes up against some other really huge programs, with Maths and Australian Idol. So that's where it's going to be sitting again this year. So there's an appeal. It has to broadly appeal to a lot of people, but they have to really make sure they nail the storyline to bring people in and make it entertaining. And I think they allow so much more time to develop characters, but at the same time they still have to keep the storyline simple enough and explain it so everyone can follow, whether you're tuning in halfway through the season. So you'll find that there's a lot of like repetitiveness of like recapping what happened in previous episodes to bring all the viewers up to speed, versus if you're watching the US Survivor, it's kind of assumed that you're in on it, and we don't need to spend time recapping that. But they really play on those. People lean into their roles. They lean into their stereotypes almost. They just all inflate them a little bit more, so you kind of get a better feel for. I know you love to love someone, or you love to hate someone. So much more. Like they try to really bring you in and get you invested. But I do think they just do an amazing job of bringing those characters to life. So I think the executive producer and the production team have done a really great job of that. They had a new EP with Dave Foster last season, and he's at the head of the ship for this one again. So look, he was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to see what he manages to bring the best out of the players as what he kind of cooks up for them. So yeah, I can't wait to see it.
So good.
Uh, yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned the recap. I never really thought about. I have noticed that Australian Survivor in particular, right? Every episode there's a pretty lengthy recap. And for people who keep up with it regularly, like I'm watching it day after day. But if you don't have time to watch it, all three episodes that each day of the week or whatever it is, and you're just hopping in for the Monday episode. I've noticed all the reviews or the recaps. I never really thought about kind of like that viewer side of people just jumping
Yeah,
in. That makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
yeah, and it's a huge part of like how the ratings dictate what the show needs to be, kind of
Yeah.
thing, or how it needs to fit in that area. But then again, it's still got its own Survivor-esque spin on it, which is it's really kind of coming into its own, and it's a real powerhouse over here. Like the ratings from last season were awesome. So I really hope that they can bring that keep that momentum going, because like I mean, I want to see this game go for as long as it can and do
Yeah.
well. And just I mean, the other shit that's on TV in Australia at the moment is, oh god, it's just crap. So this means something. It's cool.
Absolutely. Hey, I hope it goes for a long time too. I really just want them to, invite some US people to come play,
Yeah,
US Survivor's doing Canada right now, so come on, Australia.
yeah, which is cool to see. Oh look, there's been you always hear whispers and stuff of like, the Worlds Collide season or what that looks like. And
Hmm.
I don't know. I think it'd probably be more likely at this stage that they'll just do a US is going to be gagging for a new era returnee season kind of
Yeah.
thing. And, I could see like, George getting a run at that kind of thing. He's obviously been playing pretty hard, like he's doing his tour of the US and stuff. And like, I think that'd be really cool. Like, send send one of our best players over there to really mix them up. So I hope that comes to fruition in some form or another at some stage. It'd be cool to see like, Dino get involved and a few of those other like, big international players and stuff. But yeah, it'd be awesome to see. So,
Yeah.
it just depends on who can make it work. And because a Survivor fan can always like pitch what their best season or theme or whatever it could be, but
Mhm.
I mean you have to look at it from like the network's point of view. We all love Survivor South Africa, but unfortunately, because of budget and performance and stuff, like that got axed, and it's like, well, that kind of sucks. And that was such a good format, such a pure format, and it was run so well, but like at the end of the day, people aren't watching it. Like, in the money talk. So hopefully, someone can find the right thing to be like, can we fund it to like bring US players here? Um, and I'd love to see, I don't know, maybe Paramount, considering that's the umbrella that like Channel 10
Mhm.
falls under, that Paramount could like, I don't know, like work with their network in the US to really push it over there, or you bring that here or combine it. Like there has to be like the right hand has to talk to the left hand, in some form or another. So yeah, I mean, down the track, I'm sure it'll happen. And but what that looks like, I mean, who knows? I'll be excited for it when we see it.
For sure. The Australian Survivor was made available in the US on Paramount Plus for about 2 months.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
last year.
is that scrap now? Like it's not
It
available at
it
all?
was on and then it was mysteriously gone all of a sudden.
What the hell?
My tinfoil hat is they saw it outperforming US Survivor, and CBS wanted it pulled because it was a better version of Modern Survivor.
I just think they're their own beasts, right? Like they're
Yeah.
just different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They still fall within the Survivor family, but they have their own unique spin on it, and I think that's why we love each form of it and stuff. Like the new era US has been really interesting to watch, and I think 45 just hit the right
Yeah.
chord between like new era, but like authentic old Survivor, but in the longer runtime, just let them be able to,
Mhm.
pardon me, develop their storylines so much better, and we got to know a lot more of the characters and their intention, and it came to fruition just so well. So that was epic. Like that was just nailed that. And good characters, wholesome, in just redefining or refining what new era survival looks like. And I'm hoping that this new era, like post all stars for survivor, can kind of keep up with this momentum in Australia, because I think there's something exciting. It's on an exciting trajectory.
Absolutely. I agree. This last season of US Survivor was the best of the new era, in part because they got an hour and a half to tell the story rather than the 50 minutes that
Mm,
they normally do. And we are going to see that this spring, the continued hour and a half, and so hopefully we will continue
yeah,
that
awesome.
momentum. But
Because
so,
in Australia, like we're looking at like three 90-minute episodes a week or something like that. It's like we're looking
Mhm.
at almost a 5 hour commitment.
yeah,
Like that is huge. Like you have to like acknowledge that, and you move through it. But it's exciting. Like a lot still happens in that time, which is good. But it's a huge commitment each week. Like even when I was on
Mhm.
it, I'm like, man, it's just so much time. But I guess it's like every day. You're like you're all up in your head about it and stuff. But like it's so fun while it lasts.
Yeah, I often say like when Australian Survivor's airing, it comes out in the mornings for us. It's like watching a full movie every morning before I go to work.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So, because how do you guys go with like catching up, like watching it, each day, in terms of your timings without catching spoilers? Because in this modern day of social media, where Australia's East Coast, we have Sydney,
Yep.
Melbourne, Brisbane, and
Mhm.
in the summer, Brisbane's 1 hour behind Sydney and Melbourne. But like those three capital cities, the biggest population is, and then Adelaide and Perth are like half an hour to 2 hours behind, depending on what time of year it is. And but it's like almost as soon as Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane have seen it, it's like the internet has seen it. So how do you guys go about like avoiding spoilers and being able to watch these episodes and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, last season, so we were doing exit interviews with you guys. So
Yeah.
I would wake up and I'd want to know who are we talking to, in 12 hours.
Mm,
So I would typically wake up, 5:36, grab my iPad in bed and start watching it. There are a few episodes I fell asleep during the
yeah.
episode, but would just watch it right away because I knew the second I open Instagram, the first 5 pictures I see are going to be the spoiler
Yeah.
of whoever got voted
Yeah.
out. So that was me. I just kind of committed to waking up early every morning and watching it before work. So that's the plan this year too. But
Yeah.
Caleb, what about you, man?
Yeah. No, I mean, kind of similar. As soon as like I woke up, try to hop on. If I didn't get to hop on, I did my best to stay off of all social media, right? Just not at all. And then I would go at lunchtime, and sometimes I'd have to watch the episode at a time and a half speed, just so like I could make sure
Yeah.
I caught up. So, because we had a deadline to be able to see the
Yes.
episode. In previous seasons, I've just like tried to stay off social media and watch it at some point later that day. But it is definitely a challenge when you're running a Survivor Instagram account. Like it is just the feed is constant.
Yeah, it's right on. And like I was the same, even like, it was it Wednesday night for
Yeah.
Hmm.
like this 45? Yeah. So it aired at like Thursday, 2 o'clock our time, in the US, like the equivalent of
Hmm.
that. But then it stream or fast tracked to 7:30 on the free to air TV. So you had like God, this 5 hour window of because it was all it was too hard not I mean, it was easy enough just to watch it on TV when it kind of came out, but it's like
Yeah.
la 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 la, like you're scrolling really fast to like just clear those first like 5 or 10 posts and stuff like that. But you make it work, I guess, right? Like, and even then,
Yeah.
you just yeah, you might you cop a spoil every now and then, but you still want to work out like how it happened or like, oh my
Sure.
god, how did that person go home? Was it a blindside? Was it this and stuff? But yeah, and it kind of like gives you a little bit of like retrospective, way of trying to like read the edit, like what story is being shown right now versus like I know that person's going now and stuff. But yeah, so yeah, huge commitment for you guys. So kudos for the early mornings.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Well, I remember last year, it's like if I couldn't watch the full episode, I would look up a spoiler because I'm like, is Simon going home? Yeah, that's my winner pick. I'm like, oh man. And then anytime I saw it wasn't you, I'm like, oh, okay, we're good.
Yeah, and yeah, it didn't help that you're like we're well, I knew what happened, but like you're biting your fingernails every bloody episode because I
Yeah,
was
right.
like, oh, the dummy storyline, Simon's going home.
Yeah, you didn't relieve my stress at all. I was worried.
Oh, I still feel for my poor mother. She actually messaged me when she saw the first like Survivor promo, and she's like, "It is so good to like see a Survivor promo and no, you're not on there." And I'm like, "I know, Mum, I feel for you."
Did you tell her what happened when you came back from this most recent season?
Um, yeah, like bits and pieces.
Uh-huh.
And because like so my family they didn't know like the details and stuff like that, and it's like, how do you explain like the story of a cookie idol, to someone like who you know just how do you explain that journey? And you're like, this may not even be shown on TV.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You just like, yeah. But it kind of got to the point, when you get kicked out, you're in jury villa. You FaceTime and you can FaceTime your family and stuff like
Oh,
that. Like,
okay.
I met my nephew for the first time. When I hit jury villa and like what was the other thing like like I was sixth, so like my mate was flown from Brisbane to Sydney, and he stayed overnight, and he had a ticket to come to Samoa like the next morning, so he needed to be on like 6 a.m. flight to Samoa, but I got kicked out, so he like got flown to Sydney and had to like fly straight back to Brisbane because he wasn't allowed to go, obviously. So like my family knew that I was going well enough to like you know
Yeah.
like the friend was potentially going over, and because none of my family were going to be able to make it for the family visits because my brother's wedding was like a week after after that, and like COVID was still kind of a thing. So it's like
Mhm.
we're not going to like risk not being at your brother's wedding to come and support your like little dreams. And I completely supported that, So I was fair enough. And my wife was in Mexico on a work conference. So yeah, wasn't going to ditch that. So, yeah, well, they all kind of know, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're all yeah, just it's good for them not to watch it and have to stress as much as well.
Well, we do have a new season to look forward to. There is somebody else stressing as they prepare for the season to premiere, and it's not you this time around. But the theme of this year, this upcoming season, is Titans versus Rebels. Uh, what's the conversation in Australia about this theme? Because my immediate response to Titans versus Rebels was, so this is just Champions versus Contenders 3.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've kind of seen. When it first got released, it's like
Yeah.
what's a Titan, what's a Rebel. But I think like a lot of the trailers and the social media behind it, like prepping us all up and getting us ready, it's like explain what those differences are and stuff. And I think there is definitely an element of like champions versus contenders, like, but just maybe with a little less of a sporty focused
Yeah.
maybe. I don't think there are any Olympians this season, a couple like powerlifters and stuff, but like look, it definitely had that vibe. But almost maybe a little bit like David Goliath as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But like it's the theme just helps like get
Yeah.
buy-in from the people, and an easier way to like help you root for someone or something like that. It helps you
Mhm.
build a storyline and give people purpose for like why they're there and for casting and stuff like that. So I think they've done like done really well. You finding newbies and putting them in the right kind of categories and stuff. And from what we've seen, it's like it feels fresh and reinvigorated. And I don't think it will be like I think there'll be some similarities, but I think it's going to stand on its own 2 feet, which will be good. And I think that the fact that there isn't like a bunch of like Olympians or like ex athletes and stuff like that is cool. Like there's still those people there, but I feel like it's almost moving into. It's also it's not as much as I would have potentially expected, but it's not as much of a you know TikTok era kind of approach as well. It's like it seems like there's a bunch of fans who are cast on there, people who
Yeah.
actually know the game, have watched US growing up and watched all the Australian ones as well, and South Africa and New Zealand. I heard quoted in some of the bio videos and stuff. So like that's really cool to see. What do you guys make of it when you first heard about it?
Yeah, I mean, similar. I think coming off of a season like Heroes versus Villains, which is like one of the most iconic themes you can have, and you and the cast played it so well, playing up those stereotypes and
Mhm.
having purpose on those different tribes and stuff like that, showing the difference in gameplay. It's hard to have a season right after that that meets that expectation. So I am excited about it. I think it's fun. Like you said, it gives purpose to the tribes. I was really shocked, when I first heard Titan versus Rebel. It's like, all right, it's going to be, you know, these huge men and women on the Titans tribe. It's going to be really unbalanced because so many challenges are physical. But it seems like the tribes are pretty balanced from what I've seen in the cast videos and trailer and stuff like that. So I'm excited for it. It definitely does feel like Champions versus Contenders, and I think it even has the same like blue and pink buffs like in Champions versus
Yeah.
Contenders too. So it's like it's a little similar there, but I'm excited for it nonetheless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Which like my whole thing with theming is that if something works, it works, right? It doesn't have to
Mm.
be new or exciting every single time. And so, I mean, I think the David versus Goliath, Champions versus Contender, Titan versus Rebel, whatever it is, right? Like the storyline of the underdogs versus the powerhouses is like
Yeah.
is stands the test of time because so many people relate to it. And I think
Mm.
like whether it's US Survivor or Australian Survivor, like I really appreciate themes for seasons until like the production of the show becomes like or the edit wraps up all too much into the theme. Like sometimes like especially in US Survivor, Jeff would like pigeonhole like so like millennials versus Gen X, like every like other question was like, is this a question? Is this a difference between your generations? And it's like, well, the two
Mm.
people you're asking are like 2 years difference. They just happen to be on like different tribes. So I don't feel like Australian Survivor has an issue with that, kind of like pigeonholing their theming. And so I am excited to see Titans versus Rebels, how it kind of plays it out. And if there are any players that kind of grab a hold of their like identity and theme the way that people have in the past of like will someone make a random move because they're a rebel, right? Like or will the Titans band together. I think there's that quote from in the promo from I think it's Viola that's like, not today, rebels, not today. And so
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like, is a villain going to grab Sean and pull him down in the very first 10 minutes of the episode?
Yeah, it's kind of like, there are bits and pieces that, whether, it's, I mean, it's not even subconscious, like it's definitely conscious that, you are there. I mean, it was probably more of a returnee, like maybe thing that, I don't know, maybe it was just my even particular like experience, but it's like, I kind of knew what my ticket in there was, especially, the two idols going in but what my role was to play. And it's like, I knew that I had to lean into that kind
Yep.
of, that's part of it. And it's, yes, it's good for like, the story and stuff like that, but like, and it probably may help you get more like screen time, but it's like, not really consciously thinking out at the time. You just like, that's kind of what I need to do. Like, I don't know. Just like, I felt like I had to, I don't know, play that role a little bit. So yeah, it's always interesting to see if like, is someone going to, probably maybe more so the rebels, like, are they going to actually like, I guess when you rebel and actually, for the actual literal meaning of it, and, really push the rules, but how that underdog story really comes through, versus, the Titans being these, big heavy hitters who are always on top, always winning, the champions essentially, and how they, overcome adversities and stuff like that, and overcome their challenges. Like it's good. It's an easier way. Like the people who lean into that will get shown in the edit. Like I don't think there's any doubt about that. But whether or not that affects people's gameplay and decision, I mean, that's a question for post. So maybe that's a good one to put in your put in your post match interviews, being like, was there anything that you did that you didn't think you would have done if you weren't a rebel or a titan or something like that. So yeah, because that's it's entertaining. It's good. It's easy for the audience to connect to something like that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, as we think about the upcoming season, right, so you have the benefit of having been on two other seasons and seen your own twists and turns that Australian Survivor likes to pull off. This question for both you, Simon, and Alex. Like, what are there any twists, advantages, things that we want to see on this upcoming season that maybe we've seen before? From maybe another cookie idol, maybe
No, no, we're done. We've flogged that dead horse. Come on, we've milked it for everything it's worth. No,
But
Alex, you
yeah,
fire first on that one.
Oh man, I can't remember if it was last season, so feel free to correct me. But in previous seasons, there was there was like the cake shop or the popcorn like movie shop reward where a whole tribe gets to go and one at a time they get to go. Um, I was rewatching All Stars a few months ago with Caleb, and where it's the
Mm,
cake shop where Phoebe finds the clue, and like it's just so much fun to watch. So that's always been one of my favorite types of
it
rewards.
is good.
So
Yeah.
I would love to see that, like the what is it, Champions versus Contenders 2, where David is like his wife is on the TV and he's just like throwing popcorn in his mouth and isn't even watching. I mean, it's so iconic. It's so much fun to watch. So I would love to see that return this year.
That is a good one. Like, it's such a staple of the Australian, Australian series. We had that last year with the sandwich reward, but none of us found it. We,
Oh, that's right.
right,
we
yeah.
we can spy. We think it may have been in the cooler in the drink machine at the bottom of that or something. But yeah, none of us found it, so it didn't have the same kind of effect
Mhm.
there. Um, Look, I think like the what I've really enjoyed is like the moral dilemmas. Just and and forcing people to come up with lies, or to
Yeah.
tell the truth. I think that's something that 45. Oh, sorry, well, not just 45. Probably more new era
Mhm.
US has really been exploring well. It's like hike up to the top of the mountain and you make a decision. Like that's probably the extreme of it. But then you've always the Australian used to have a lot of like you can take some food and an advantage, like or an advantage and a small bit of food back, or you just take a big club of food back to the camp. Like what are you going to choose there? And you're forcing people into like make decisions there, and like that kind of really helps with their stereotypes or their typecasting and their tribes. So things like that, I'd love to see. But I think the really good thing, what Australian Survivor has done so well is just there's always been something new. Like, I mean, God, how many, God, overall, how many seasons have we seen, internationally? Like, we were into we
Mhm.
must be, over 60, yeah,
At
60,
least,
probably
yeah.
close to 70 kind of thing. So it's like, it's a fair bit. And, there's always still like new things that are being thrown into the works. And, some stuff doesn't, some stuff doesn't work and some stuff does work. So I love seeing things brought back that have been done before, because you get to see how they play out in a different light with different players in different situations, and just seeing how many people react to those things. So yeah, probably favorite one. I mean, I love like being part of the auction. Like that was really
Mm.
cool,
Yeah.
and even the fact that was like done before before merge. It's like, oh, that really kept people on their toes. So I mean, what do I want to see? Like, yeah, I don't know like specifically, but probably those
Yeah.
moral dilemmas would be really cool, and just adding a few more of those in, just to keep people guessing.
Absolutely. And maybe we'll get like a for the theme of Rebels versus Titans, but from like some opportunities for people to make rebellious decisions like against the other tribe or maybe their tribe, like kind of this like moral dilemma of maybe if I'll get something, but it'll cause something in my tribe to like happen. So they can have some fun with that. I
Yeah.
also I Alex and Simon correct me because I haven't watched all of Australian Survivor, but I don't believe there's ever been a 2 to 3 tribe split like that we've had in U.S. Survivor, where they've gone from 2 tribes as a whole to 3. And I would love to
Oh,
see that potential
yeah.
shakeup because it hasn't happened in Australian Survivor.
Yeah. Well, so season one had three tribes.
Yep.
Um, just in the way that the format works, I think it was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I think we talk about like, trying to keep the simplicity going. Like it is hard trying to follow three tribes, at
Mhm.
times. Like I always find like in that first episode of US Survivor, trying to work out who's on what base, is always like,
Yes.
pretty confusing at the start until you get your head around it. So I think they'll probably keep that pretty similar. I mean, cool concept, like great
Yeah.
concept. Like I can't see it happening there.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was the other? Oh, if I remember what my other thought was, I'll come back to it. Oh, sorry, yeah. Non-eliminations. They're obviously a huge point
Mhm.
of contention
Yes.
in Australian Survivor. Look, we have them. There will
Yep.
be two or three of them, like to make up episodes. Like we get it. There may or not, just different ways of doing it. May or not be in exile or something like that. There's always a lot of like, talk about what that looks like when you're out there, like trying to game the game and forecast like what it's going to be. But I think last season did a really good job of managing what those non-elims look like. Like maybe mutiny, like jumping over to another tribe. The even survival isolation, like just
Mhm.
Hmm.
I don't know. It just wasn't as look. They're never pretty at the end of the day, and we all hate them. Like, but we need to deliver 24 episodes and there's 24 people. Like, it's just how it kind of works. And whether there's it kind of leaves the flexibility as well to be either two or three at the final at the final tribal council. So um, just managing those without putting too much of a handbrake or a big jar on the game kind of thing, I think is a real art form. And I think they did it really well last season. But I'm hoping that they can keep that going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I love the non-limbs like from over here across the sea. And now Blood versus Water non-elimination happened, like could have been really cool in theory, but watching basically 2 weeks of the same kind of order of people
Yeah,
being voted out was unfortunate. But I understand why people don't love the non-eliminations.
but like just think about it, right? Like those non-elims, like something like that could happen with a completely different bunch of people and be amazing. Like watching a different pairing of people kind of come through, but like it just does happen more often than not. If you go, well, if I would expect it to go this way, it almost kind of does. Like they're the kind of ones that it happens that way. So I'm sure they'll cook up some new ways to keep us, the viewers, on our toes and keep us interested. And we're all going to get on here and rant about it at some stage about how they need to do something about it, how we don't like it. But it'll yeah, I hope they find the right balance.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I even think like the very first Down a Limb, or one of the first ones in the first season, that that was the first season I ever watched of Australian Survivor, where two tribes were at tribal council, they each voted someone out, and JLP said, all right, you just voted someone to the other tribe, now bring someone with you. I mean, that
Right.
moment really solidified like, oh, this is an incredible season. And I even tell people that story who are interested in watching Australian Survivor, and they go, oh, I would love to watch that. Like that seems cool. So yeah, I'm all about it as
Yeah,
well.
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I just keep them maybe earlier, a little bit earlier
Hmm.
in the
Yeah.
season, kind of thing. I don't like. I mean, I think it was at final six where, oh yeah, probably, yeah. I mean, I was like directly affected. I think it was yeah, I got saved by one and screwed by another. And when you're like, when there's like a 1 in 6 chance of winning $500,000, it's like, oh, really now? But it's just all part of the game.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, we are going to jump into our draft here in a few minutes, drafting some players for our three respective fantasy teams this season. But I want to ask you too, before we get started, if looking at the cast, are there any standouts or people that you are excited to see? But feel free to not give away who your top pick is.
Oh, oh man, no, I don't think I can. Like, I think when we start like you getting down it, like, because there's not just two of you now, there's three of us taking picks. Like,
I know.
it's gonna be messy.
Yeah.
The gloves are off. So,
It
yeah,
is.
I'm not going to show my cards.
See,
I
Simon,
respect it.
this is when you take the opportunity to like throw off the scent. But I play like multiple mind games with Alex on this. I'll like mention someone I definitely want, and then he thinks I don't want them. And then there's one season where we did this draft, and like I like mentioned somebody and he completely changed. Like I offhand was never gonna pick them, completely changed his entire order to pick this person first.
It didn't work out.
It did not work out well.
That's good. That's good. No, look, I think like probably a couple of things I will say before before we kind of get into it. It's like I I don't know about you guys, but how much you kind of like you get into like the spoilers and stuff like that, or go digging around for them or anything. And look, I haven't done any digging as such, but I feel like even like the cast even leaked. Like there was nothing leaked about the
Yeah.
cast and stuff until it was all revealed. So like that was all really cool. Like the fact it was all kept under wraps. So and the people I've kind of spoken to know very little about the season as well. So I love that. I love the fact we're in for 24 newbies. That's awesome. Like that needed to happen. I thought that even bringing a bunch of us back in heroes versus villains was probably like a little bit too soon in the bigger picture, but like
Mhm.
it obviously worked really well. And I give myself a pat on the back for being a part of that. But it was we want to like if we want to really another like epic returning season, then like let's pump through a few new newbies and see how it goes from there to like fill the pool. But
Yeah.
my theory for what it's worth would be that like if this goes if this goes well, which I fingers toes crossed hope that it does, then we may see another couple of like newbie seasons after this, whatever the theme may be. But if this doesn't go as well, I think that there'll be looking to bring back returning players sooner rather than later. And in whether it's a sprinkling of players, just across, and part newbie, part returnee, or just you go straight back into another big hitting returning season. Who knows? But I think that will really be determined on the performance of this season, and it's probably going to be made by channel network executives, based on that, because the ratings are just just so critical here. But yeah, I think they've done a great job. The diversity looks relatively good this season. It looks like there are a decent handful of super fans or people who have watched a significant amount of US, Australian, South African, New Zealand Survivor. That's really cool. So I think that I think we have the makings of a great potential season, and I hope that those little chaos monsters play their hearts out and they bring some very entertaining TV for us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's jump into this draft. For those that maybe haven't watched or haven't joined along us before, we will do a snake style draft where whoever has the first pick of the first round will have the last pick of the second round, and then the first pick of the first round. It's luck of the draw there. And Simon, just as a reminder, we will do a winner pick as well, but your winner pick does not have to be your first pick. Right.
Right.
So you can
Yep.
pick your team and then we'll pick somebody. And Alex and I are going to put you on the spot and let you pick the order for the draft. So if you want the first pick, but then not having any other picks for a while, you can take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, I will go first.
Great. First pick.
Yeah,
now, is Alex or I going to go next? This will tell who's your favorite.
Yeah, who's your favorite? Come on.
Well, I mean, Alex has always been your team Simon. I have to say, yeah, man, I know it. I loved the stats that you guys just dropped, putting all your players together. And yeah, no, Kaleb, you're in front, aren't you? You.
Well, no, Alex is in front statistically. I have far more.
The average winners 8.8 winners to 4 point something winners? What were those stats?
I have 8 winners that have been on Team Kaleb. Alex only has 4, so
Okay, but in terms of the actual draft pick, Alex is winning there.
Yeah. He has a 8.2 average placement for his people. I have an 8.6 or something like that average placement.
So what do you guys value as more important? Draft placement, draft results, or winner picks?
Draft results.
Draft results. Okay, great.
Absolutely not.
Winner picks don't matter.
Okay, listen. Well, Alex, with all the support that you've shown me, let's get this alliance going. And would you like to pick second or third? Do you want to have 2 and 5, or do you want to go 3 and 4?
Give me 3 and 4. Let me go last.
3 and 4. All right,
yeah.
Kaleb, you're running 2 and 5.
I should have seen this coming when I asked the question, but that's okay. I'll take it.
You're even wearing the hat, and you still got shafted.
Listen, this is my role when doing anything with Alex, right? People think he's always just the kind guy, but he's really a villain at heart. So let's jump into this. Your first draft pick, Simon. Who are you taking for Team Simon?
All right. So there were a lot of people that I was tossing up here, but after watching, there's kind of a few things that are at play here. I want to, I like having an even spread of male and female and different backgrounds, and the alpha males and the quiet little female yogis and stuff like that, offset and be well spread. So I'm gonna show a couple of my hands here. I love getting behind a Queenslander, so a local homegrown hero. So Queensland, one of the states, and I'm from Brisbane. We have never had a winner from Queensland, which is frustrating, but we have the best runners up of of all seasons. We've got the most runners up. So yeah, it'd be nice to see a Queenslander take it out. So we'll be getting behind a couple of a couple of hometown heroes. But there was someone that really jumped out at me in watching the bios and stuff, and that was Charles, the litigation lawyer who was 35 from Melbourne. He is just has this like this seriousness to him, but then this total like goofiness that I think people will like kind of fall in love with his personality there. I think that the kind of skill set that he has as like litigation lawyer, so you get that negotiation skills. That's going to be such an important part. He left an 18-month at home with his wife, and you don't like that's not a small decision. So you're not there to put boots on caterpillars. Like he's there to play. He's a fan. I loved his energy in the trailers. I don't think he's going to be perceived as a physical threat straight out the bat with so many like big hitters in this season. But he is going to be my first pick for Team Simon.
It's a good pick.
Right.
Good pick.
All right. Great pick. Great pick. I
should also say that was actually that was quite jarring because I'm going to be Team Rebels. Like I'm going to back the Rebels home for this one. I just think I don't know. You can really get behind an underdog story, and Aussies love an underdog. So I was looking to go like a rebel heavy team, but Charles is my outlier. So let's go. Let's do it, buddy.
Okay, let's take all the rebels. We got 4 picks.
I know, right? All the rebels next. No, my strategy here is to pick the players that Alex loves so that he has to root for Team Kaleb as well. And he has 2 picks, so I got to pick well on this one. And I am going to go outside of my normal realm of picks here. And I am going to snag with the 2nd overall pick. I'm going to do it because I know it's on his list. I'm going to pick Nathan. So in terms of this is definitely strategic in terms of someone who has been shown a lot in the promos, has a big energy, is going to, I think, be that prototypical like big ego of the season. He seems to really
Huge
be playing into it, which like I don't know, other than All-Stars, I don't think has worked really well on the season in general from a player standpoint, but will be entertaining nonetheless. And so I'm going to take Nathan. I'm excited to see him play. And more importantly, I know Alex loves him, so he's going to have to cheer for him. Alex.
Yeah, so I wanted 2 picks back to back because I had 2. Nathan was one of them, and that I wanted. So
well done, Caleb.
Yeah, good call, man. All right, well, great pick. Both those guys were on my short list as well. But all right, first pick for Team Alex. I got to go with my boy Alex. It only makes sense.
Nice. Yeah, that's good.
So I saw a guy named Alex. He's a teacher, educator, stuff like that. Seems cool. Was shown a lot in the promos as well. And so I'm excited to see how he plays this season.
So I saw a video in his bio. School teacher. Is a bit of like a traveler as well. He hiked up Mount Kilimanjaro, and in the video he met. Oh, sorry. Well, in the video is Lockie Gilbert from what season 2, and was he season 2 and then All Stars?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think he was 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently Alex met Lockie on that hike.
Wow.
And Lockie was like, "Yeah, do it. Like, just throw your hat in the ring." And sure enough, applied and managed to to get on. So that was like epic.
Incredible.
And yeah, he's gonna be someone I want to watch as well. So yeah, that's a solid pick.
Good pick, Alex. It was between Nathan and Alex.
Yeah, those were my top 2 picks.
Those who I was picking between. So Alex, jumping into round 2, who's your next pick?
Yep. All right, I got to go another rebel. Sorry, Simon. I hope I'm not taking all your picks from you. I'm gonna go Sarah, the firefighter, on the Rebels tribe.
Yeah. Hmm.
Killing me, man. You're killing me.
We should have communicated before this, man.
This alliance is over.
Good pick, Alex. I am worried. She was on my list. I don't, I've tried to. There's not enough seasons of U.S. Survivor, or not U.S. Survivor, but Australian Survivor to know like the older players or younger players in particular have like a leaning towards advantage. I like her. I am worried she is one of the younger players on the
Yeah,
season.
she's 24, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. I think they've got a really good spread. Like even last season,
yeah.
like everyone was in
Yeah.
between there, like literally between 25 to 35. But this is well open. So I love
Hmm.
the spread here.
Oh, absolutely. All right, jumping into my pick, I have to go with um, someone. I'm going to stick with the strategy of big personalities, and I'm taking.
Really, so dangerous.
I know it's dangerous. But I'm hedging my bets for a winner versus maybe a better team.
Shut up.
Uh, I'm going to go with Viola. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
the
Good pick.
power lifter. It seems fun and intense. Really, it was the not today rebels, not today that like really like in the promo that hung me. I was like, I want her on my team. That's also like my strategy in these is like I want people I can root for, and I feel like I can root for her well. I don't. She is. I just said like I was worried about someone being young. She is the youngest player on the
Youngest, 22.
on the thing, but you know, last time, I just have a good feeling. I just have a
I
gut
don't think she
feeling.
knows. I don't think she knows Survivor. I'm not sure if she. Yeah, I'm not sure if she's watched. I'm not sure if she knows what she's in for yet. And
Hmm.
it's not a deadlifting competition.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, I'm not saying it's the best pick in the world. I'm just
I
saying it's going to be a fun pick.
I just
Yeah, it would
heard
be a fun
I
pick. Huge personality.
yeah, fun pick, but hey, it sounds like Team Caleb isn't doing so hot already. That's what I heard.
We'll just wait and see. All right, Simon, you got two
he's been
picks
he's been
back to.
he's been he's been trolling through those Survivor forums, hasn't he? He's like he's going.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I've got two. Do I have two? Yeah, let's have
You
go.
you will
Hmm.
have two.
Okay. Joining Charles is going to be my my pick is going to be Garrick. So
Mm.
he's going to be my dark horse. So he's my Queenslander. He is my like he's the oldest male on the tribe, and he's already been featured in the promos. So we've been introduced to him already. Um, Great promo, great like character um, development as well. I feel like he's switched on, and yeah, he's someone I am going to get behind. So I think that he's ticking a few boxes for me. And without Alex in there, he's gonna be my rebel pick.
Oh, great pick. I was really hoping he would fly under the radar in this draft. That was one of the people that I wanted. And I agree. I have a good feeling about him. All right, Simon, next pick.
Oh shit, got a second one. Okay. Well now I get to play around a little bit here. Um Someone that I think like another oh so with it, like choosing like I didn't know where I'd be falling in this like kind of first pick and where you guys were thinking. So there's a couple of people that are very similar to Charles in terms of like what he kind of brings to the table. So we've got
Hmm.
Charles, the litigation lawyer. We've got well, Raymond is he works in retail. He's a Survivor fan. He's in his promo. He's holding like a $2 copy of Survivor Borneo. I'm not sure if you guys picked up on that one. That was pretty funny. So I think he works at like in a gaming store. So he kind of looks pretty similar. And so does like Eden. And he seems a hell of a lot of fun as a pop culture aficionado. So they're like
Hmm.
kind of similar. So this is where I need to diversify a little bit because those three are kind of similar. look, I'm actually going to go another Titan pick, and I'm going to go with Jessica. So she is
Mm.
the senior lecturer from Melbourne. I think she teaches in nutrition, and I think I think she's going to be a great addition to the team. I think she's going to go deep.
Mm-hmm. Good pick. Good pick.
Yeah. Yeah, great pick there. Jumping into my next one, I am similarly going to, I've got some big personalities. One that's, going to have a big ego. One that's just, I think going to fight in Viola. And we're going to go with the former diplomat, Mark, for this pick
Oh,
and take the strategist of Team Caleb. I am excited for Mark. I'm worried, like sometimes like the real strategic thinkers play themselves out early because they're just too strategic. So we'll see how he does. But Mark's going to be my strategist.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep. All right, my third pick. We need some Titan blood over here on Team Alex. So I'm gonna snag two Titans back to back. So third pick's gonna be Kitty. And she's
Good
the
choice.
online business owner, I think, in like weight loss, fitness, online. I think she's gonna be great. Maybe play a bit of a motherly role out there, but definitely that coaching role I think is gonna be huge for this season. So I think that's gonna be really fun to watch her play.
She spoke a lot about connections in her video.
Mhm.
So I think that's going to be like a lot of people where you really bring that. So they may not be the smartest or the fastest or whatever, but connections and like influencing people so critical to having the numbers on your side. So like going deep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good choice.
So I think she can do it. I think she can do it. And then let's see, fourth pick. I really like this guy's energy from the promos or kind of the videos I watched, where he said, "I look really mean, but really I'm smiling all the time." He's a big guy, and so I'm gonna go with Jaden.
Yeah, solid.
So I think he's gonna be a fun pick to root for. So we'll see how he does. I think it'd be tough to see him get voted out pre-merge, just based on size and strength, but he seems likable too. So I think that's a good combo to have.
He seems he's so likable, like so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real entertainer. Yeah, he's going to be the life of the party. But depending on how tolerable people will be of that party will be interesting to see.
But we're gonna take our chances on it. So um yeah, you guys better step up. I feel like Team Alex is really shaping up well. You guys need to
I
Yeah, that's
mean,
good.
I listen, Jaden seems great, but classic Team Alex pick that someone I think isn't going to win, but is going to get, far enough. So
Caleb, I reckon you've got a few early boots there, mate. I reckon you better sharpen that pencil.
listen here, not
Dude,
early
Simon, you're
boots.
welcome anytime you want, man.
Well, here's the deal. You stole my dark horse pick, Simon. So I'm gonna go with the what I was gonna hope be a dynamic duo on this team. Again, taking a big risk here, big personality, and I apologize in advance if I pronounce his name incorrectly. But I'm gonna go with Ferris,
Ferris,
from
yes,
Ferris from
great,
the Rebels.
great choice.
Yep. Good choice. He was on my list
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
yeah, he was on my list as well. That's good. What I got for him? Western Sydney HR manager. Did you guys see that video of him like saying that he wants to pick up
Yes.
finish what George started?
Yeah. I don't know if
That
that
Yeah, that
made me
was
like him
good.
less or not, but we'll take it.
I commented on one of you like his promo video. I think it was a little bit late to the party, but I said like, best thing to come out of Western Sydney since blah blah blah. Just to dig into George a little bit, but I'm not sure if Georgie saw it. I'm sure he might just to have just to keep him on his toes. But yeah, Ferris looks a lot of fun. Hey, he's
Yeah.
got he's I think he's gonna play that role really well, where he like people just assume that I think what he called himself like a big dumb Arab. I think were his verbatim
Hmm.
words.
Yeah.
But he's actually like double major with his commerce business degrees, works in HR. He's previously a maths teacher. You're going to play a strong social game, but still big personality. So I think he's going to be like really entertaining and really be a big player. in this, or a big character in this season.
Mhm.
So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to see what he brings to the table.
Yeah, if anything else, Team Caleb is going to be loud and prominent. We may not
Yeah,
do very well, but
you've probably got like maybe the three biggest egos.
For sure.
just trying to match my own sometimes.
Right up there, right up there. Yeah, that's that's good.
All right, Simon, you have your last two picks here that wrap up Team
Okay.
Simon.
Wow. No, no. Jaden's gone. That's potential for me. No, maybe. So I'm just gonna write my maybes out. This is really important. You guys can talk between yourself. Who else? Yeah, literally. Give me 30 seconds.
Oh,
Here.
you're good. You're good. Alex, my question for you about Team Alex.
Yeah.
Last time you picked an Alex on Survivor, on Australian Survivor, did they go home with no confessionals? Is that
That was Alex's sister's partner, Jay. He was my winner
Oh
pick.
yeah,
I
that
did
was a
not
tough
pick
break.
Alex, but he went home. I think he like asked to be voted out or eventually quit due to a back injury. But
yes?
at the same time as that season was airing, I was also having a back injury, so I felt a spiritual connection. So
I mean,
um,
only place to go is up, right? From
I'm just
that
mad you took
performance.
Nathan from me because I have a history of picking, in the promo picture, if there's a backwards hat, I'm team backwards hat. So that's my go-to pick.
Listen, I knew what I was doing. You know,
So
I knew exactly what that pick was. So, and that way, if Nathan does poorly, I'll just blame it on you. It's like this was an Alex pick, so that's just how it works.
what an asshole.
All right. So I've got my I can just talk openly now because I've got my last two picks and you
Mhm.
guys can
Last
either
two
talk me
picks.
in or out. Okay, so my next top four are going to be either so we've got Peter, so she's the bar manager from Perth. She's a rebel. I've got Winner. He's
Mm.
obviously a winner. 25 Sydney Inner West. He's the competitive eater, the TikTok. He's a bit of a TikTok big hitter. He's also an engineer, and in sales. So I did like the look of him as a bit of fun. Who's the model, the Russian model, Valeria?
Yeah,
Val? She's called
yeah.
Val. There's definitely more than meets the eye to her. More than meets the eye. Yes.
Yes, more than meets.
Um,
Yeah.
just the way that they're kind of painting her character at the moment, and she's being
Hmm.
pretty heavily, showcased on the promo. But I'm not sure if that's just like her sex appeal that's being shown. Like, there's always a lot of that. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the big opening scenes, and it's like, dude and their budgie smugglers, and then like some chick's booty. It's like,
It's
yeah,
hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
it's hard to tell, but they're still doing a job. So I'm like, I want to, she ticks that box, but there's something about her which I think she could be. I flagged her as a dangerous player who could go deep, and the other one is Kirby. So Kirby's the AFLW coach. She said she's 37 years of age, feels like she's 80, her body's 87, but has the spirit of a 29-year-old. Ex athlete, played 10 years of netball, then AFL, but she's not a huge Survivor fan. So that kind of throws me off a little bit because I like backing home a Survivor fan there. So look, I think it's got to be definitely another female. The fact that Kirby is not a fan, I'm probably going to pick Val then.
Yeah.
She's going to come on my team to help round that out for me. And then one more. Do I go Winner or do I go... or is Eileen. She's my quiet achiever. 26, sales cohort, waitress. I grew up in Nepal and then somewhere else in Southeast Asia. But she's watched every episode of every... Oh, do I drop Val to go Eileen as a rebel? Who's going to work better there? Look, if I do Eileen and then
Alex, I have a feeling
Tobias
Team
Carroll.
Simon's gonna win this one. He's giving this lots of thought.
He knows a lot more than we do. But Caleb and I talked yesterday, and if Simon wins, then we just say BS. You knew about it, so.
I promise you, I am 100% spoiler free. I will say this right now. Damn, you guys have really pigeonholed me here. Okay, I'm gonna go Eden as well. Because okay, I'm gonna go Eileen and then Eden or you know what? I'm gonna go Eileen and then I'm gonna forgo my next pick and I'm gonna get back in the next round while I make a decision.
Oh yeah, this is your last pick. So if you're gonna,
I know I'm happy to pass for one just to see
What a
what.
guy.
All right,
yeah.
wow. Well, giving us a free pick. Simon, I don't know if you keep
Only
up with-
one. Only Alex is next, not you, bro. Chill out.
What?
Oh no, he's next,
No,
and then
I'm next. Then
I'm
Alex.
last.
Oh, okay.
So
That's all right, then.
you can take your pick if you want, but
no, that's all right. No, I'm happy to stand by. I'm happy to wait. I'm happy to just to round this out and to see what direction you go in here, because that might help me influence my decision.
That's great. There is in the American Football League, the National League, in the draft, when they actually have their draft, if another team's clock runs down, the next team can run their envelope up to the front to put in a pick before the next one. So that's what I feel like this
great.
is.
Yeah,
I'm running in to get my pick in.
I didn't expect to be going back to back. I didn't realize to go 1 and 6 would be one again.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot of people left on my board. You mentioned some people that I am interested in, and similar to you, Simon.
Who are you thinking?
I'm thinking Kirby's on my radar. Eileen, you picked Eileen, so she was already on my radar. Eden is also. I feel like I need another woman on Team Kaleb, but also y'all picked some of the ones that I would have picked anyways. So it's really just tough, and I may have to. I leaning into this Team Alex kind of situation.
You know what? I'm going Eden. I'm coming back.
I waited too long to turn the envelope in.
Run my envelope up. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And you know what got me there? He is okay. There's two things that got me across the line there. Eden, he yelled out, "Are you not entertained?"
Yes.
I love that energy. He says a pop culture aficionado, and he's played Melbourne Survivor before. I think I saw that on his shirt. So that's cool. He knows what he's in for. He is a Survivor super fan. This photos him all the way through with his buffs. So yeah, Eden's going to be on my team. So I think that rounds me out. Garrick, Jessica, Charles, Eileen, and Eden. So I'm going for a few quiet achievers to really go deep in this game versus the Team Kaleb ego team.
You know what? This makes my pick for me. Eden was thinking, I'm just gonna lean into the ego team. Kaleb is Team Ego, and we're going with Val. Your original round 4 pick.
Yeah,
again, like her, at first I saw, I was like, this is gonna be standard kind of character. But then the more I guess she quoted JLP called her the what was this quote again? The Russian
Something
model with a silver tongue.
Tongue.
We'll see.
So what do we see? The last person who got called a silver tongue was Benji. And
Benji.
Yeah. Not like my Benji, from last season, not original Benji.
Oh, not original. I got you.
Yeah, so Benji last season got called with a silver tongue. He saw the wrong side of a fake cookie idol, but he knew it was a clue. But we were intertwined there. So yeah, that's just a little bit of privy for you. But yes, good choice. We'll
see. Alex, wrap us home. Bring us home with the last pick. Mr. or Mrs. Irrelevant, as they call in the NFL draft.
Jesus.
So who's on your team? Who's on your team, Alex? So just kind of give us a recap.
Yeah. So my team, so far I've got Alex, I've got Sarah, I've got Kitty, and Jaden.
Yeah, solid.
So
you've got two Rebels, 2 Titans.
Yep, 2 Rebels, 2 Titans. I've got a couple on my short list, but Simon, I want to
shortlist.
hear your perspective to round
Yeah,
out my
far
team.
away.
All right. So,
I got your back, man.
yeah, I appreciate it, man. All right. So, couple people on my short list. I did have Kirby as well. Didn't realize she was not as big of a Survivor fan. I didn't see those videos that came out a couple hours
Yeah,
ago when we were asleep.
I think they only dropped today,
Yeah.
tonight. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm kind of like a little bit of a like a little bit of a leg up on you there.
So we'll take it. Rihanna was on my list too on the Rebel
Mhm.
Tribe, and then
Yep.
Scott and Tobias were also kind of on my list.
Yep. Yep.
Simon, any insight onto some of them?
Yep. Yeah, okay, you know what? Rihanna and Scott were the two videos I didn't get to watch in time.
Okay.
Mm.
So I can't offer anything there. Scott. We don't see like we
Mm-mm.
don't see a lot of him on social media. He's been
Yeah.
like he's not a like just doesn't have a huge following, or it doesn't really like show his I mean he's just sort of on Instagram from what I've seen, so it doesn't really showcase much of him. So I don't know much about Scott there, and I don't know much about Rihanna either because I haven't seen hers. They're like the last two that I was trying to cram in just before we kicked off. Um, Tobias, he'd probably fit on Team Kaleb. Like he feels like he's confident. The confidence is through the roof. He's got tickets on himself. Um, Byron Bay, he's a builder and a boxer. I thought like I'm a builder. Like yes, I should be getting behind him, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe just not like my cup of tea for a survivor for like a winner pick kind of thing. So I'd probably err on the cautious side there for
Okay.
Tobias. Just I think he would, I think his kind of like intro package was a little bit more about like it wasn't really talking about outwit, outlast, outplay. It was more about like if I need to flirt my way through, I kind of can. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think yeah, it just didn't quite line up with the core principles of Survivor for me.
That's good to know. All right.
Yeah. So out of I don't know, Scott and Rihanna, you're on your own there for your gut feel for what you know. Was there anyone else on your list? Who else we got? So we got Winner.
Mm-hmm.
When people available would be
Winner, Caroline, the midwife,
yep.
Frankie, the Bondi salon owner,
Kelly, the psychologist.
Kelly, the psychologist. She's gonna be a huge character. Peter, she was the bar manager in Perth we're looking at. Bias, obviously builder, and Kirby, the AFLW coach, Rihanna and Scott.
So as part of my thinking, I really liked Winna at first, but I went on his Instagram and it doesn't say anything about Survivor. Like nothing in the bio, hasn't shared any pictures of Survivor, no promos, nothing like that. And that makes me nervous. So my heart wants to pick him, but my head is like, don't do it. So let's take the total shot in the dark unknown. Let's go for Scott.
Yeah, good.
As just we don't know anything about him, but
Yeah,
it's either a good thing or a bad thing. But I think he's gonna fit on Team Alex for a while.
That's who I was trying to pick between. And if I already had another woman on my tribe, I probably would have picked him as
nice.
my dark horse. But there's our draft. There's Team Simon, Team Kaleb, and Team Alex. The last thing that we have to do here is to select a winner. So who's that person you're putting all your energy behind to win? Maybe your hopeful winner is on another team, but that's okay. They're dead to you now because they're not on your team. Who are our winner picks? And Alex, you get to go first.
Yeah, well, it was gonna be hard choosing between Nathan and Alex, but you made it easy for me, Caleb. So winner pick is Alex. We're going all in. Team Alex, winner pick Alex.
You're taking the Team Caleb 45 strategy, I
Exactly.
see.
Exactly.
This is very good. So stitch up. So like, yeah, he wins, you win almost kind of thing. Like,
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
you can't really get too far ahead. That's good. All right, Caleb, who you got? Who you going for?
I honestly don't have a strong feel for anyone on this season. Like there was no one that jumped out to me that was like, I'm definitely picking them. It's not like last season HVV. I torn between Shawnee and Haley. But I'm gonna go with a male winner. We haven't had one, or we had last one was Mark.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna go with Ferris. We'll see. Could be an early boot, but simply, I think they came to play, and I'm banking on that being a opportunity for them to win. If Garrick was on my team, I think I would have been picking him.
Yeah, nice.
Good choice, Simon.
Look, I'm tempted to just double down. I did get first pick in the draft, so like, do I just go Charles there, given that, or like even with super fun there, also on my team? I think I'm gonna back myself home. But the only like, and I'm just wondering if you start like reading into it too much and be like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
oh, not on the poster. Like, haven't seen his individual, haven't seen his promo yet. I mean, there's still a week left. What is it? It's Monday
Mhm.
night in Australia here now when we're filming this.
Absolutely.
Um,
Simon, if
so
it
like, there's another week of releasing these kind of things to like get people to have buy-in on people before the season kind of comes out.
yeah. If
Hit
it
me. What are
makes
you
you
gonna
feel
say?
better, if it makes you feel better, you can't do much worse than my first two, not my first two picks, but in Blood versus Water, I had both the first boot and the second boot. So like you're like as long as that doesn't
Yeah, yeah,
happen.
yeah. Good. I think yeah. I reckon you've got first boot in your team.
We'll see. We'll see.
No, we'll see. Yeah, look, let's have confidence in the process, and let's go Charles then.
All right.
Charles will win his pick. Yep.
I like it.
Well, let's throw it out there. Do you want to go like who's going to win the most necklaces, or who's going to be like the end game challenge beast of the season?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think for me, watching like if they get this is all depending on if they get far enough. I think
Yes.
like Nathan is probably high up on my list of if he can get through that merge. I think he's going to be a competitor going forward. I am afraid like anytime those big egos come on, I the person that comes to mind first isn't like big ego that I'm worried about is the oh shoot, what's his name? From season two, long hair. He's on All Stars. Alex knows he like
Henry.
Oh, Henry.
Henry. Yeah. Henry
Season
like
season season. Was he two? Was he three? I think it was he three.
I
Season
think he
I
three
was
think
of
it
All
was
on
two
Stars.
two with
with
Jackie
Lockie.
and
Yeah.
Lucky. Yeah.
He was too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
So as long as he doesn't like, leave his main alliance on the other tribe to go volunteer and go over to the other side of the beach, we're good. But
Yeah.
I am fearful of that. But that's who I'm thinking is going to win the most necklaces.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I think Viola has a great chance of that as well. She's seen a lot in the promos of multiple different challenges, her participating in it as well. She seems like an absolute powerhouse. So um,
Yeah.
I think Viola would probably, for me, have the most
So
amount of
I think
wins.
what we've seen, and I think this is something like we really kind of need to like reframe what the post merge challenges look like. They are not like they are not skill. Sorry, they are skill based. They're not like the old challenges that we used to
Hmm.
see, where they're it's always the most powerful player left in the game is going to win. They are all very even across the playing field, skill based, challenges. We've got hand-eye coordination style things where that will test a range of endurance, balance, just coordination, as opposed to just like just some of the strength based things that we've seen
Hmm.
previously, and that kind of and it was so fair. I really felt that like so many of those late game challenges that I played in were like open slather, like anyone could be winning this right now,
Mhm.
and yeah, it just has a different kind of look on it. So I think the person who's has the best kind of chance at that. I think winner would have a really good crack at taking home a few necklaces if he can hang around. But I'm just not sure if he's going to be there like that far down. Um, oh, I actually think that look, I think it'd be Alex. I think he'd have the potential. I think I could see him to have the best kind of build
Mhm.
physically.
Yeah.
Like he's like young, fit, adventurous, but also not carrying heaps and heaps and heaps of muscle, which can definitely hinder you. But I mean, he's no stick, but he's not Jaden sized. So I think he's kind of got the best best opportunity there. Otherwise, I think that like Kirby would be really
Mm,
great. I think he's going to have that grit and determination there. So they'd probably be
Mhm.
like my oh god, if I can have one like my male and my female, um, kind of challenge beast picks there.
absolutely. We'll see what
Uh,
happens with it. It'll be a
so do you
fun.
go first boot?
You obviously have someone on Team Caleb you think is going to be a first boot. My first boot is actually I I think Winna is a candidate for an early boot. I don't know about first boot in particular. Unfortunately, based off of like just past seasons of Survivor, of Australian Survivor, I am concerned for both Caroline and Kelly on
Yeah.
their respective tribes. It just depends on is there going to be that person that rallies behind, keep the tribe strong. We've seen that more often than not. And so I'm fearful for both of them. I don't think that's the right kind of thinking. But
Mm.
that we
It's
just it's
like in that like you're out there for less than 24 hours.
yep.
Oh, probably 36 hours. Game probably starts at like 10, 11 o'clock kind of thing. You do the challenge, you kind of kick off from there. And then, the first night's reward challenge, go, get kind of ready. Next day's, the immunity challenge, and then you kind of kick off from there. And there's always some funny business at play in the first episode, which some people love, some people hate, but I think it's always exciting to, it can it kind of almost just saves that person, at times. Like
Yep.
it kind of gives everyone like a bit of a fighting chance, depending on, if there's an advantage or something that goes out there. Because when you don't have a lot of time to kind of pull something together with 12 people on a tribe, remember, it's so different
Yep.
to a, American six. Um, yeah. So, and it just, when people group together in terms of like sheer survival, it is that on paper it's Caroline or Kelly who are the sitting ducks
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
on each of those tribes there, depending on if they can like carve a way out. And it just is how it kind of sits. But I think there'll be some funny business at play, and I think that like you got to say if you're in for the long haul, it's like almost like the annoying people who might be the first people to go and be like, I don't want to be sleeping on the sand, like next to this person for like or complaining, someone complaining a lot at
Yes.
the start. So like, oh no, Frankie was severely out of her element there.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
but look, if we're going, oh, who's going to win the first one? Rebel's probably going to lose. I'm really like thinking into this, right? Oh, man, I hate to say it, maybe Raymond, unfortunately. Man, would he be like,
Mhm.
Yeah. I then uh,
oh,
looking at the list again, Raymond was someone I did not even like put on my radar to pick because he feels young, he feels a little inexperienced, just like and I'm afraid he's going to be an easy like, oh
he's
let's
also like and he's like, enough of a fan that, they can Matt Dyson themselves and blow themselves up, by like, or even like, oh God, who's my good friend? AK. The
Yep.
AK first season, I was so excited to like rip in there and realize like, God, this is definitely a marathon, not a sprint. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's try to like, I don't know, mix it up a little bit and save the stereotypes and yeah, maybe Raymond. Oh God, it hurts to put an actual name out there, but like,
I
yeah,
know,
you
right?
I
gotta pick
know.
someone, right? This is my idea.
Whew.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking Raymond too. Unfortunately, just like if Rebels lose, yeah, I mean, being a super fan, like that could kind of blow up, for sure, be a threat.
Yeah.
I'll also say maybe Ferris, first boot. Just
Nah.
throw it out there. If he's rubbing people the wrong way, is that because he's your winner pick, Caleb? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
good.
I,
Hey, that's fair.
Yeah,
All is fair in love and Survivor, you know.
yeah. That's yeah. It's kind of like you're picking these things off like 2-minute videos that you guys haven't even seen yet. Like,
right.
I know.
A
it's
picture in
like
a paragraph,
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's yeah, it's tough, but it's it's a lot of fun. That's what we love this game. We love speculating, right? And making some chat out of it all. So yeah, that's good selections. I think, and yeah, that changes things, right? Like you start getting down the like we're picking 15 of 24 versus you
Hmm.
guys were only picking 10 of 24. So like
Yep.
that definitely changes a lot of the dynamic. And you start working your way fair way down the list to you fill your team up. So that's cool.
Exactly. I mean,
Absolutely.
last night planning for this, usually, I just have to pick, my top 9 or 10 that I want. But now it's like, I gotta go 15, 16. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a big difference. I have to start with the people I don't want first and then order everyone else. So
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
Yeah.
no, well,
We
yeah.
need to do it like you can have like a like at the end you get like one wild card or something like it's something crazy where you get to not poach someone, but it's like you can't like you get to veto someone from the other like one veto or
Oh,
something like that. No, like not
Ooh.
something to think about. Not
Yeah,
now, not now.
absolutely. Maybe
We've
we'll
locked
do
it in now.
maybe we'll have our own Australian Survivor mid-season twist in the future.
Yeah.
all right, everyone,
That's
get
good.
your jar of cookies. We're gonna.
Don't say cookies, man. We're good now. We don't need we don't need that anymore. But no,
Oh
thank you.
goodness.
Thanks for having us on board for the draft. That's awesome. That's
Absolutely.
yeah, so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks for being a part of it.
Well, Simon, thanks for joining us. We are excited for the season ahead. It starts next week, and so I hope everyone is getting ready and getting excited. I know that we are. I'm ready to watch Team Caleb dominate, despite what the coalition of Alex and Simon think about Team Caleb. So, we'll be following along all season, doing weekly recaps. Simon, anything else you want to say to the listeners before we log off, either promoting anything or just any final words on our podcast?
Well, again, thank you guys for all your support. It's been awesome. Hanging out with you guys and doing your exits and stuff like that. Like that's been cool. And look, I'm sure I won't be a stranger
Yeah.
over the rest of the season, which will be cool.
Yeah.
Look, snuffed gear, as you can obviously know, like get around it. Still selling it, snuff.com.au. That's there. That'll still be running throughout the season. All the like the US listeners, I mean, that's obviously where you guys are like really based. Like, thank you so much for getting behind Australian Survivor. And it is so much fun. Like, it is a different beast. So that's awesome. I love that you guys are behind it. And to any of the players who stumble across this and get this deep, just enjoy the experience. Enjoy your time out on the island. No one can ever take that away from you. Like, just enjoy that by itself. And then the TV beast is like its own roller coaster. It's just completely different. Don't get the two confused and don't let anyone take that away from you, because that's so special and such a unique experience to you versus like your entire story is never always going to be shown. So but take the most of that, and hold that very special in your heart, because then what's on TV, everyone will pick apart, and we will analyze the shit out of it, and we will give our unsolicited opinion from the couch while we shove food in our face. But you were out there, you knew what you did, and I hope you can be proud of your actions at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Good word. And
And
yeah,
best
we're
of luck for the rest of the season, guys. I hope you all get kicked out before merge.
Listen, you're gonna enjoy the sweet taste of like watching one of our team go home, especially early. And hopefully you won't well, I hope you, hopefully for yourself, won't experience the bitter defeat of watching your winner pick go home like round two. So
I don't know what that's like. Caleb, what is that like, man?
it's tough. It's tough. You just question everything about yourself. But
And then every Instagram update, or if you every tweet or whatever, when you see your like grayed out
yes.
team in front of you, just every single week, and you guys are meant to be pros of this, right? You love enough to be podcasting. It's like, hey, there is my entire team like all grayed out. It's like
Listen,
it's
that's
heartbreaking.
why I just lean on my 8 winners on Team Caleb. We just fall back onto that
So what do
every
you? That's not
time.
bad. Are you 8 from 13? Did I see?
Eight winners from 13 seasons.
But that's
And
also
sorry,
like
is
the
this
challenge and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
okay? Cool. But is that you like your single winner pick has been 8 or 13 times, or someone from your team
No, someone from so I've had 2 winner picks
on the nose winner picks?
where
Okay,
I picked
Alex,
them
how
up.
many on the nose winner picks have you had?
0.
Yeah, yeah,
So
Yeah.
tough.
yeah, well, again, Simon, thanks so much for joining. We will wrap up this episode. If you are listening along this deep, be sure to like, subscribe to us both on Instagram and YouTube at Speaking Llama. And until next time, we'll speak Llama to you later.